Right, the weather's great, so I'm getting out there, and I think I've put together my lightest ever oil painting kit. Here I am, I'm at the spot on a beautiful day, and this is my lightest ever plein air kit. Butterflies floating around the place, is just lovely. And I have high hopes for today. I'll show you what's in the kit when it's set up. I'm hoping this sunshine stays, because that's exactly the way I want my landscape subject to look. And here's how I've set up. I'm using a little this little book stand for the first time. It's really light. I'm hoping it'll make a good easel for a very small board I brought with me, with my drawing board behind it that's going to go on my little makeshift easel. And this is why it's such a light setup. I have to have a mixing surface with me, my paints, and somewhere to sit that isn't getting invaded by ants, because I've no chair either, which helps keep things light, and all my mediums and my paint over there, and that will all go back into my rucksack and be packed on the bike when I'm finished. So hopefully I'll get an hour or two at least painting. Okay, I'm set up and good to go, and I'm using a limited palette here with the addition of one extra blue. The blue that is in the limited palette is a phthalo blue, and I've got yellow and red, and then black and white for mixing colours up or down. They're not really counted as primary colours, but it's a primary colour limited palette that I'm working with, and I'm using obviously it's oil paint, so I have to use some white spirits or some sort of medium in with the paint. Off I go. There's been a strimmer going very loudly, and that's because it's such a lovely day. The curse of the strimmer always strikes on a lovely day, but I'm quite hopeful that it won't last forever, and I'm really enjoying the heat while I try to get the groundwork for this down quickly, so I can then get maybe a little bit more subtlety into it. So the limited palette is making some things much easier for me, and you can even get oranges, but basically when you go back to the palette, you find you have the same few colours that you're working with all the time, so you don't get bogged down in mixing up in betweeny colours, when really you're in a bit of a hurry when you're doing plein air stuff, because the light is going to change, isn't it? Even within an hour the light will be a bit different, so I'm hurrying to get down where the light is, as well as all the form. Okay, so if you feel like you missed out on a bit, it's because my phone overheated. I never had that problem before. Now, I'm not used to lovely weather, but I left it out in the sun. I wasn't thinking. But I wanted to show you how after a while you generate leftover colour, and if you mix it together you'll get a lovely neutral colour, and then you can do things like, when you want to do the sky, and I introduced an outside, what I call an outside blue for the sky, an ultramarine, which wasn't one of my 3 primary colours, that what I can do is mix in some of that neutral colour in with the blue, and it'll harmonise more with the colours that I've used in the rest of the picture. And that's a new trick I picked up recently, and I love it. It does work. It brings my pictures together much nicer. Now, I'm not very good at this trick, but Jordan Constable, used to use this to great effect in his landscapes. The tiny white or nearly white dot to enliven foliage on trees. The light it will see, as indeed it does in actuality. If you can see it there, not just on the side of the tree, but in the middle of the tree, and not just where there are kind of sky holes, but where, you know, the nice shiny leaves are picking up light. So another trick, a Turner trick, is to put red in where you want the eye to be pulled in. But I'm putting in where I'm seeing orange gorse to pull it into the distance a bit through that gate. And it adds a nice flash of very warm colour. Sorry, I have my finger over. It's very hard to paint and film on an overheated camera. It's sort of mid-afternoon and I'm losing that morning quality of light. So I'm going to call it a day. And you can see how it looks now. It's more afternoony, but I did have a wonderful time. It was such a beautiful day to do it. I hope you enjoyed seeing it, even with my finger in the way for a bit of it.